Come on now. Ah, there we go. Why, hello there, barbarians and Chibans alike. I guess Chibans can be barbarians. I didn't think of a good starting phrase, intro phrase today. So that's what you get for today. I am live now. Okay, cool. So yeah, I was having some technical difficulties, and I'm gonna be talking about World of Chibu today in this live stream with some good friends of mine. We got, let's see who's over here. We got Ray Dougal, Molescoid, both Battle Masters Extraordinaire, Sketchbook LP. Yo, he's got a cool stream on Twitch where he paints miniatures and stuff. So you can check that out. You can ask him about it in the Discord. I'll put a link to our Discord. I'll do that right now while we're talking. Let's see, where is it? And while peeps are showing up. And then I'm going to give you guys a tour on World of Chibu. We're going to have the whole system, complete system, in its beta. I'm going to roll through it chapter by chapter. What is this? We got a little creepster, a little iguana up in our random region generator. We just renamed that. So a lot of cool stuff going on. I'm going to make it 1.4 because I changed the name. That's how I roll, man. Alright, I'm having too much fun here. So let's see. Alright, cool. We got Molescoid and Professor Stratego, of course, up in the house. Loyal knights both for the Pen and Blade Cyber Nation. Hello, my son. You've drawn 3 pages of skulls? Yeah, man. Put them in the Chub Chub is the first level at the Neslon Academy of Imagination and Design. So the first test is to draw 3 pages of skulls following this video. Where is it? This Fantasy Skulls video. 3 full pages. So you see, that wasn't a full page. That wasn't even a full page. Boom. Look at that. You got to fit the crazy skulls into the crevices. A very nice little baby skull right there. I'm digging it. So Molescoid doesn't want to do 2 more pages, but I'm telling him he's got to do it because it'll build power. It's like doing like your exercise. You got to do 3 sets. If you just do 1 set of push-ups, you're gonna, I don't really might have built a small amount of muscle. I mean, but almost negligible. What's up, Ray? Oh, Diglis. Here it is, man. You're the first in Discord. You look like it's a dwarvish name. Where'd it go? But in here, it's an elvish name, man. You're mysterious. Alright, I cannot tell you what the next trial is, a secret trial, so I will private message you it, but only once I receive proof of the 3 full pages of skull drawings. Alright? Or if you can, no, I don't suggest it. No, you can't go, the Skeletor did 2 insane pages of skull drawings, and I was just like, alright, this might just be crazy enough to work. Gotta give him space. Alright, cool. So I think I don't need this anymore, don't need this anymore, but I'll leave them open. We're going to be starting to talk about World of Chibu. Alright, but I also want to be able to see your comments in the chat, because I really want to hear feedback. So if you're watching this not live, please leave your comments on what you liked, what you didn't like, what you think could be improved, what you're most excited about, what you think doesn't work, you know, because I really want to make this a fun, actually marketable tabletop RPG system. So let's see, is this going to be in the way? Maybe I made myself a little smaller. Okay. And so you guys can see this. Oh. I kind of want to make like. Alright, sorry. No, this isn't very. I should be more professional when as I'm sharing my marketable product. I'm talking about being like a serious businessman, and then I'm like, oh, look how small I can make myself. But yeah, let's make it a little smaller so it's not in the way. I guess that's okay, actually. Whatever. Alright, I'm gonna make it like that, because sometimes when you're viewing on what's it called? On cell phones, I spend a lot of time on that unnecessarily. Thank you for staying with me, for not abandoning this video if you're watching it later. Please don't be professional. Alright, deal. My cyber son. Is that creepy? What do you mean the skulls are pretty bad? It's okay. They have to have heart, man. It's more about heart at this stage. We're gonna work on everything else. If I see a glaring issue, then I'll point it out, and maybe I'll give you a special task, like a side quest that's only for your character class, the Stratego class, and we'll see. So if you want to be a Chub Chub in the Cyber Nation, which is the first level, it's before Padawan. It's more like a squire, and a Padawan would be like a knight. and then like the pen master is the lord. I don't know what the middle stage is going to be called yet, but chub chub, it has to be, that's the first stage because it has to be a humbling stage. All right, I was a chub chub. I live as a chub chub in my heart forever. That's something you guys should know. They have heart chub chubs. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I feel it. That's exactly what I was saying. Oh dang, man, that's pretty. It's a pretty intense aspiration. He wants to be the god of chub chubs. We'll see, man. I don't know if we don't support paganism in the Pen and Blade Cyber Nation, but you could maybe become a great chub chub hero of legend, a chub chub of legend. All right, so let's get down to talking about World of Chibu. Let's just leave it to the mystery, baby. There is some mystery. It's true, man. So, Pen and Blade presents World of Chibu. That's how you have to say it every time. Tabletop role-playing game. So, when you check out the World of Chibu tabletop role-playing game, I want you to keep these important principles in mind. Alright, these are the ones that I kind of wanted to... This is my goals in creating this tabletop role-playing game. What? Molluscoid, I expect better from you. God help you, man. I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you. Don't worry, you'll be alright. Let's talk about World of Chibu. Create highly customizable characters quickly, alright? I want you to be able to make a character in about 10-15 minutes. I want him to be a character that you love, that is exactly what you want it to make. Maybe not exactly, but like if you want, it's close enough, or it's something you're cool and excited about. So if you want to have magic and melee, you can do that. If you want to be ranged magic, if you want to be ranged and melee, if you want to be full melee, if you want to be full magic. All these options are available, and they're able to be created quickly. You should listen to your parents a little bit. I mean, obviously have your own, you know, you gotta trust your own heart and your own intuition. But especially when you're young, heart and intuition can be very easily overshadowed by hormones and angst and just like minor like mental issues. I think pretty much everyone goes through in middle school and high school. I definitely did. So they can be a good guiding principle, but also, yeah, you gotta also make sure you're choosing things for your own self that's true to your own heart and spirit, and not just kind of blindly and dogmatically following what you're told. That's what I think, but I could be wrong. I could be very wrong, in fact. So don't listen to me. Listen to your heart. But make sure you learn how to listen to your heart, because a lot of people think they're listening to their heart and they're listening to their something else, you know? Something else. All sorts of psychological and physical and biological forces pulling at your psyche. Alright, stop distracting me. I'm trying to talk about World of Chibu, man. This is like, imagine I go into an office meeting, I'm like, I'd like to present World of Chibu. By the way, fast-paced gameplay that rewards players with multiple level ups per session and little downtime. So I'm thinking like you're gonna get like 1 XP per guy on average, and then like the first level you level up in like 10 XP, and then level 2 is like 25 XP. And the other thing is they're slightly overpowered player characters to make combat exciting and put an emphasis on story and the effect Chiban's actions have on the world. Alright, so there's a couple things there. Overpowered characters, so they're going to be fighting, like, one guy might fight 10 enemies, so then he might level up in the first battle, you know what I'm saying? And I think everyone, like, if you fight with 4 people, you might fight 40 enemies and get 40 XP in the first battle and level up twice or 3 times in one battle. And so I'm hoping, we haven't play tested yet, and I need play testers, so if you're watching this and you're interested, let me know in the comments or in the Discord. Yeah, I'm hoping that'll lead to, like, okay, you can get through a lot of big battles and epic, like, war battles and stuff like that. Let's see what's going on. Thank you, Professor Stratego. Make big money. That's what we gotta do here. What happened? Alright, we got, because we got guidelines. I'm not going to get too distracted. Next, we want guidelines that are both specific enough to spark imagination, yet open-ended enough to allow adventure masters and players a plethora of ways to be creative within the system. And this not only involves the world building, which I haven't really gotten to, that's going to be in a separate book, the campaign setting of World of Chibu, but in these rules, I kind of leave things open-ended enough, like you'll see in the skills section that what's it called? That like I don't give like a really detailed way on how you use the skills, and the role table is very kind of vague in a way that's interpretive by different people, and even the skills and like the spells and stuff aren't super specific, so you can make them look like whatever you want, but they just do this effect or something like that. So this is what I'm hoping. And oh, and the power stones, man, power stones are fun. We'll get to that at the end. Um, it's what time is it? It's 10 a.m. So we're 2 hours different. Oh, nine. It's almost 9. So we're 3 hours different. Professor Stratego. It's 1 o'clock here. 1 p.m. What? I don't understand that. Hey, Shams. I'm doing a bit of world building too, struggling with placing deserts. The whole rain shadow thing. Nairo, but in Sahara and Arabian desert seem to ignore those. Yeah, you know what? I think that, okay, this is how I think of, do I have a map for, actually, I was going to do a video, and hey, how you doing? No one, I don't think I've seen you here before, but, it's good to have you. Yeah, you know, for deserts, I like to do, I like to think of, when I design a world, I might put down, let's see here, I'll open something up and do it real quick. This is what live streams are all about, and I can do a more concise walkthrough on the world of Chibu in a separate video, and I think I should do that. So obviously you can do like you said. Oops, this is 16 by 16 pixels for my favicon. Let's do like 10 by 10 or something. Can't wait till I just ordered an iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil, so I can do some real nice maps and stuff, hopefully, God willing. I've been thinking about getting for a long time, and I finally just decided to do it. So hopefully you guys will be seeing some nice art. So let's say, and I'm only using the mouse here, so I'm going to make it really, like, basic. I like to think, like, okay, the wind's coming from here, alright? And the wind is picking up the ocean water with the moisture, and it's bringing it up over land. So let's say I have some mountains like this. Now I'm going to think this side is going to have forest, so let's put some green. Because all oh, and it would be great, okay, I should put this in a video. My dad does these time-lapse, and I noticed that we live in the mountains, and we're looking at the clouds coming, and you can see the clouds basically right at the mountain ridge. They build up and swirl and billow, but they don't move forward. And then randomly another set of clouds came from a different direction at a higher altitude, which was cool. So it's like the lower clouds, you could actually see the moisture building up, condensing, you know, as it hits the mountains, it flies up into the air, into the colder air, condenses into clouds. And so you're going to get clouds right over here, but they're probably going to rain on this side of the mountain or around here. So you might get some, I guess you could have some stuff here. But usually, I think, then I would do, and it feels, you know, it feels good enough. And I don't think fantasy maps have to be 100% accurate. But then here we're going to have desert. And that's kind of the simple, so what I like to think of is like which way is the wind coming, and then think about all the mountains. So then let's say we put another mountain range here. Alright, what's going to happen there? I think maybe it depends on now we're going to have to think of the slope. So let's say it's sloped like this. So I would think that then a river is going to come down that valley. Alright, and then it's going to be green. However, let's say it was sloped the other way. So then, like, we could draw something like this. I like to use these because if you look at, like, Saudi, like the Arabian Peninsula, it's got these pretty sheer cliffs on the sides. And I think that's one of the reasons why the moisture from the water, and also because the Red Sea is, like, completely landlocked, probably has something to do with it. But why the moisture from the water doesn't come up there. So if it was like this, then the rain's coming here, and it's hitting these mountains, it's probably moving this way. The river's probably going, you know, to the west. So the river's probably coming down here, and then in that case, maybe we're gonna have a little desert here too. Well, so I don't know. That's just my thinking. I don't know if it's 100% scientifically correct, but it seems to make enough sense to me. Oh, the guy with the cool French name that I can't pronounce, Louis Semper. I look tired. I am a little tired, man. That's funny. Let me see what I look like. I've been sick the last few days, and also I haven't showered and stuff today yet. So I just decided to randomly live stream because our homeboy up here, where is he at? Did he have to leave already? Ray Douglas, man. He was up in here. Oh man! All right, I'm gonna read this aloud because it's very, very kind, man. Hey, Father Shams. Hello, my son, my cyber son. I just wanted to thank you. You make awesome content. You're very nice and you're a great person. Please keep up the content up, and that you talk with the chat. We all love you. Oh, much love to you too, dude. No, honestly, this is like it's super cool. I met a lot of neat people through this channel. I'm really excited about life and about the way things all is. You see, we live by the gun, so we die by the gun's kids. Tell me not to roll with my homies. Alright, sorry. If you know the reference, if you get the reference, then I don't know. Thug life, man. It could be the camera light, could be inside. No, but honestly, I do feel a little bit tired. Yeah. But anyways, why are you telling me I look tired? You should say, you look beautiful, bro. You look gorgeous. No homo. And I say, thank you. As do you. No homo. Oh, couldn't write more. Oh man, you're the sweetest, dude. Thanks, Professor Stratego. I don't know if I should use your Discord name here. Thanks for the help. I don't know the 30-degree latitude altitude thing. Okay, you got. Oh, yeah. You mean the belts? So there's this like, I think, yeah, that makes sense. So there's like, basically the world's like this, and we got an equator, and then for some reason, the water goes, and then it goes really high up in the sky. This is low in the sky, low. This is high up in the sky. So it's not left to right, it's low and high. And it goes boop boop, like that. And it's doot 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 doot. You see, the sounds are important. Boop 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 boop. And then it does that on this side too, but not quite that high. So we're talking more like, this is what you're talking about, molluscoid? I guess I don't world build at this level, so I don't think at this level. I'm not usually building an entire planet. I'm just building like one isolated area on a planet. So then what's happening is the moisture is going up. So the moisture comes here and it's like do, and I think the equators are all green and jungly. Let's make it a bluish green for a more jungly feel. And then when it goes up in the air really high and you get your deserts, and I think it's more noticeable on the southern hemisphere, so let's go there, I guess. So basically like that. And then when it starts raining up at the top again, maybe it's on the other way? No, that makes, what? Because it's hot here, so the heat rises, and then, see, I don't really know. Something like that, but you do get these belts, I think. Alright, whatever. I think that was less than helpful. This one, this is the method that I mostly employ to feel more comfortable talking about. Oh, it's a statistical. It's on both hemispheres. Cool. Yeah, what are the deserts on the northern hemisphere? Because you've got the Sahara and the, go to Google Earth. I'll check it out later. That sounds like an interesting thing to look up. Or is it on the northern hemisphere for both those? The equator is south of the Sahara. Is it? Alright, you know what? I'm going to look this up. That's something I should know. It's pretty basic. Because, yeah, that's where all the jungles are, but it seems pretty low down there. Is that the equator down here? We need a terrain map. Let's say satellite. Perfect. So yeah, we got our equator. It's pretty low down there. I guess most of the continents are in the northern hemisphere. And so let's see, we got, that's the belt kind of going on right there, I guess. We got a little bit going on right here, maybe. And then Australia's in the lower belt area, I guess. And maybe over here and here. Looks a little drier. And there's the equator. Cool. Good thinking. Chris. Colorado Desert and the random one in China. Oh, good thinking. Oh, yeah, there you go. Alright, so we got over here Colorado River and the random one in China. Just like no one said. Like no one said. Just like no one said. The Gobi Desert. That's a good name. Is that the desert that Alexander the Great tried to cross on his way back and then he ended up dying and killing off half his army like a nerd? I'm not a big fan of that guy. Maybe because I could see a little bit of myself in him if I was more reckless with human life. Because this seems like an exciting thing to do. Like, yeah, let's cross the uncrossable desert, bro. Let's do that, man. I'm Alexander the Great. Like, of course I'm gonna cross the uncrossable desert. Is that a question? Alright, cool. Oh, yo, what's up, Octaread? The last video I made is, okay, so I'll do a shout out right here. Shout out to Octaread, the most octave of reads. Thanks for requesting a video. Last video was for you. Story about how to draw uplands. What do you mean by uplands? Like plateaus or like mountainous regions? That could be interesting. A whole map that's in the mountains. Why haven't I done that before? Oh, look, I'm all sweaty on the top of my head. Alright, I'm gonna go take a nap after this. I think I'm gonna stream for like 20 more minutes. Maybe. And then gonna go have some lunch, take a nap. Let's get back to this real quick. Alexander, no, I don't like Alexander, man. I told you that I don't like him that much. I think he's overrated and kind of jerky. I'm sure he was a great warrior and a fine strategist, but there's a lot of intelligent, talented people, and I think people should be judged and remembered based on their virtues, not their skills, because skills just take time and effort to develop. I mean, I guess what virtue does too, but it's like takes sacrifice and like inner struggle. Now, you can be a horrible person, but be like the best blank in the world. So, but you can't be a horrible person and be the most patient. Maybe you could be an evil, patient person, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, you can't be the most evil, kind person in the world. Super kind. Sherman Ramen. Okay, Sherman Rommel. I'll take Rommel. I don't know why. Feel like, you know, he was on the wrong side maybe, but he was. Oh yeah, and he actually kind of went against the Reich, the Nazis, and then he was killed or forced to commit suicide to save his family. So he's kind of a hero in a weird way, even though he kind of fought against who you think were the particular heroes. But in tough times, you got to make tough decisions. You know him, Erwin Rommel? Yeah, the Desert Fox, right? My dad's a big fan. I don't know if he's a big fan. That's a weird thing to say, but like, he finds him very interesting because he likes World War II and his relationship with Patton. Their like rivalry is kind of interesting. It's a modern day, you know, kind of legend or whatever. An island with different levels. Hold up. What do you mean different levels? Like, the only thing I'm thinking is like a plateau and stuff. Oh, underground levels? Dude, oh, I gotta do one of those sideways maps where you go underground and you see like a little troll lives here, and then over here there's some fire elementals cooking up some food for the troll. Oh man, this is gonna be great. If he is a hero, if he fought at the right side, he would be the hero. This is true. This is true. Well said, Stratego. Professor, there is no right side. Muscoid, you are forever the pessimist and the grumptastic. Morals are great. Morals are great. Dude, that's why we have religious books, by the way. Because if we don't have a supreme being telling us what's right and wrong, then you're right. It's all completely objective, subjective. No, it's all completely subjective, not objective. And no one can say what's right or wrong, and really there's no reason to do right or wrong. It's kind of just like empty words. But then if there is some kind of order to this world, and an intentional way things are meant to be, and that the spirit actually like changes, your soul and spirit is affected by your moralistic choices, and there has to be someone who can judge morality in a way that is gonna be like unquestionable. You can't, and that's God. And then he gives you rules to be like, hey, if you want to follow the rules, here they are. Because I know you can't figure out the rules on your own, because yeah, it's all meaningless if you get deep enough. I like how he says, I don't know that much, God is a lie. Well, clearly you don't know that much. At least you gotten that part down. No, it's okay. One person said that if you say there is no God, then you're halfway to being a Muslim, because to be a Muslim you have to say there is no God but God. See, that's the thing. So it's good that if there is no God, then you're not kind of ascribing partners to God or making polytheistic, references and worshiping things that are just either nothing or spirits pretending to be God. Um, that then just gotta, and if God wants you to come to Him, He's God, and if He's not God, then He's not God. So I'm not really worried about people. The thing is, if you the only time that like you're kind of screwed is if you actively reject God in your heart, like you make a effort to reject God in your own mind and heart, then then God's gonna respect that because that's part of free will. You see, you get to choose if you want to have a relationship with God or not. But if you're kind of open and on the fence, I think God's kind of the guy who's going to be like, let me give you hints, invite you over. You're welcome to come anytime. Ain't going to be mad about the past or anything. But the other thing is a lot of stuff, people associate God with religion and think that like God is a part of religion or like the main part of religion, or that he has one religion and he's limited by that one religion, which I think is a very strange concept for people who believe in a all-powerful God that created the universe and knows that all these religions are happening, and there's so many similarities between monotheistic religions, even religions now that are seemingly polytheistic, but you look back deep enough, they always have like either they're not a religion, they don't talk about God, like Buddhism is mostly just a psychotherapeutic practice. Like they just want to eliminate suffering. That's what Buddha wanted. He wanted to eliminate suffering in the world. He didn't really talk about God or what happens when you die too much. I mean, that was more added and embellished afterwards. At least it wasn't his main point. And he never wanted to be worshipped as a god, which is what he is now. But I think people, maybe there could be a case made for that being monotheistic, and that people are worshiping the avatar of the perfect human, which is the same as Jesus. It's kind of like the avatar of the perfect human that represents God, but then people start to worship him as God, and that can be a slippery slope towards a sort of type of polytheism. But anyways, so let's get back to World of Chibu. But since you guys brought that up, I thought I should share my thoughts, because they're a little bit different than other people's, and I feel like other people's make life a lot tougher, man. The very, like, people who are religious are very absolutist, like, this religion is right. I mean, I've seen this change a lot, but, anyways. But now it's become to the point where it's like, either you denounce religion and you say there's nothing good about religion and the old religions and the old scriptures and the holy books and teachings and stuff like that. But, I'm saying if you want to be religious, but you can either reject those books and say, I'm going to just believe in God or whatever I call it, universe, spirit, karma, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, on my own and just make up my own stuff, which is like, okay, you're just going to make up your own stuff, okay. Like no other field, there's a whole field of theology they've been studying for thousands of years. You're just, I'll just make up my own stuff. But that's fine, because you can have a personal relationship with God and do your own thing, that's great. And the other thing is to say, like, okay, I'm going to buy into one of these religions, and I have to choose one, and I'm going to sit there, and I'm going to say, I'm going to read books about how this religion is correct and other religions are wrong, or maybe I'll consider why the other religions have points, but I'll pretty much be sure that my religion is the correct one, or else why would I be doing it? And I won't really honestly question whether it could be wrong or whether there could be a multifaceted view. The correct view of theology and of God would be multifaceted, because it's like the story of the monk and the elephants, where the monk all saw an elephant, and one thought it looked like a gray wall, and one thought it looked like a snake with some hair at the end, and one thought it looked like a thick tree trunk, and they were all looking at an elephant, but from different angles, one from the side, one from the front, one from the back. They couldn't see the whole elephant because it's too big. So that's what different religions are, just different angles. It's trying to see something that's way too big to see. Okay, cool. World of Chibu. No, really. There's a fellow Frenchman here. Who's the Frenchman? Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy is the Frenchman. Yeah, so the idea I had for like a deity system, and I really like this idea actually. There's the idea of the void. There's all these elements. So let's go to the elemental chart. I think I passed it, but it didn't load. There it is. So you got the 5 elements, and it's like the Chinese elements. They move in an order. Water feeds wood, wood feeds fire, etc., etc. And then water kills fire, fire kills, destroys metal, metal destroys, cuts wood. So these are the 5 elements. Then we've got light and darkness. Good and evil, all that stuff. Then we've got void in the center, and void is the most mysterious. And void is kind of like, because is I think another conception of the idea of God. If you read like Musashi's Book of Five Rings, when he talks about void, it's like, okay, he's talking about God. Um, but so void was going to be this mysterious element that people don't really understand, and it talks to them. It's like a voice, tell you to do things, and it kind of like could play into the cosmos. And I'm not sure if it would be like, when I think of God, there's like different, like theology is a complicated science. It's not just that simple, and most people who don't study it think it's just simple. So there's like the kind of God that's too unreachable. Like if God speaks in words, he's created a limit for himself, because words are a limit, like limit the true thought that the words are representing. They're just a symbol. So you can't experience the real God in words. And I don't think I want to have, because I think it's too big to say like, oh, let's have a game master pretend he's God. Like that's a little bit that's a little bit, treading a dangerous blasphemous line. What if he makes God do something ungodly? And then, so I don't want to be disrespectful or bring religious and politics into it, but I do like the idea of morality and some kind of guiding force, like the force in Star Wars, where it can be a little more impersonal, and then it's kind of like, it's not the God, but it's like a personality, or like the subconscious of God, or like some kind of active principle. In the Christian tradition, that would be considered the Holy Spirit. It's the kind of God that's more personal, that interact with you on a one-on-one level. It's not the kind of God that if you see God, you're just going to have to bow down in glory, because you just can realize how powerful and awesome he is, and it's just way too overwhelming. You're probably going to just die. That's what happens when you see God in the Old Testament, according to the Islamic and Jewish traditions, and I guess Christian, because they follow the Old Testament as well, or at least they believe it's real, supposedly, if you know. Anyway, so yeah, so that's the idea. The void is, and there's a few characters who have kind of like conversed with the void or whatever, and they don't really understand what it is. But also the other idea is that there's a morality scale, and if your characters do good, they get 1 light point. But the DM keeps track of this, he doesn't show it to them. If they do a good deed, it could be even like a good deed like feeding a stray puppy. It could be a good deed like saving someone's life. And if they do a bad deed, conversely, they get a evil point. And there are these 2 islands in the world of Chibu. Do I have the world of Chibu map anywhere? I think it's in here somewhere. And because actually the map has changed quite a bit, but this part has basically stayed the same, so I can show it to you guys. It's in that video. Basically, there's an island on the top, which is the Forbidden Island, and that's the Island of Light. An island on the bottom, which is the Dark Isles. And there's Island of Darkness. Let's see here. There we go. And so, as you do dark, evil actions, this moves closer. And as you do good actions, this moves closer. And whichever one hits the landmass first, it's going to unleash that, like a horde of that power. And there's always in the spirit, like in another dimension, there's a battle going on between basically like the angels of light and the demons of darkness. And it might like spill over into the world. I haven't figured that out too deeply yet. In certain ways. Let me make this bigger so you guys can see a little better. But so that's the Isle of Darkness and the Forbidden Island. But like, so if the evil gets there first, they're going to have an advantage. If the good gets there first, they're going to have an advantage. And I also want to implement a system where like every time you do 10 good things, you're like, it's like a karma system. If you do 10 good deeds as an individual, the DM will keep track, and there'll be like a roll chart of good things that could happen. Like randomly you'll find some money, or randomly some guy will come by and offer to enchant your weapon because you helped him, get his wagon unstuck from a. He'll ask, oh, my wagon wheel is stuck. Can you guys help me push it? And then you push it, and then, oh, here, okay, I'm going to give you, let me enchant this weapon for you. I'm so grateful. I would have been stuck here forever. Little things like that that'll help your character. But at the same time, if you do evil, then you have bad karma. Someone might steal from you, though. The converse will happen. Someone will say, hey, can you help me? And it'll be a trap. So, so I thought that would be a fun system. And also because one thing that makes it tough on people is they want to play a bad evil character, but then it's hard to run a game as a game master if everyone wants to be evil, because most of the things that are incentivize you, I guess you could be incentivized by money, but even so, you might just be like, I want to kill the guy who's giving me money for no reason. So anyways, it kind of gives a second incentivizing inside the game system to encourage being good and not being evil. And then if you do something evil like steal, you're going to get rewarded by doing that evil thing. You might do something good like give money, and then you lost something, but you're going to get it back in karma. But if you steal and do something evil, you might lose it in karma as well. Alright, so that's a little idea there to answer your question, Jimmy. So let me go back. Yeah, I don't want them to be blasphemous. Okay, getting into real subjects. I know I'll just jump Yeah, yeah, molluscoid. You brought this upon yourself, my friend. But yeah, no, I'll talk about whatever, man. Personally, not religious, but I really respect people with true faith. That does good and live it out, like Mormons, Buddhists, and Cholo, yeah. And from Norway, so big respect to Odin. You know what? I'm interested. I should learn more about Viking, or because a lot of pagan theologies also have a creator god that's like the one god. You know, like a monotheistic Abrahamic theory of God, like where he's the creator. He created all the universe. Then the other gods are like actually, when we went to India, we talked to a Hindu guy, and he was telling us about how his personal belief was that like Brahma, the highest, that there was just one god basically, and all these deities, Hindu gods and goddesses, they're like the different personalities, the different faces of that god, so you can understand them in different ways. Like there's the big three ones: a creator, destroyer, and sustainer, I think. But they're all aspects of that higher Brahma. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of thing like that in the Viking thing, where there's some creator god who maybe even goes like Actually, in like the Greek mythology, there were the Titans. Oh, I only got 10% battery. All right, I'm gonna move. This might make the stream not stream as nicely, but we'll see. Oh, shoot! Ah. All right. Anyway, so it'll be interesting. Like I like to see if there are those commonalities, because in the Quran it says that God sent a messenger to every people, so every people have been told about God and warned that you got to be good, you got to not be pagan, you got to worship God and not any other deities or whatever. Hey, this is Conan. He says hi. I got one of these to support my local hobby shop. I don't use like to spend money on random junk, but I really like Conan and I want to keep hobby shops in business. So anyways, I think I'll just stop in the middle of that thought because I don't really remember what I was saying, and I want to talk more about World Chibu. But I'd be happy to talk about any of this stuff and share with you guys like my thoughts and experiences and whatever in the Discord if you're interested. But yeah, I think the main thing is two things. I think if I was to give like universal advice, I don't like to say like this is the right way, even though this is what I really believe and I think objectively it is correct because of the research I've done and the thought I've given it. But and I've tried to look at both, like I've gone through my non-religious side era too. I stopped praying and kind of just left the religion alone, and just to make sure that I wasn't just stuck there out of habit. But anyways, what I would say is two things: be open-minded, but really open-minded, like not material reductionist open-minded. I feel like material reductionists think they're the most open-minded, but they're actually the least, because it's kind of saying like if it cannot be measured, if there's something that cannot be measured in this world, it doesn't exist. And then like, where did you get that notion from? Like, are we so arrogant to think that human faculties and machines built to enhance human faculties are capable of sensing the entirety of creation? So that's first off a weird big assumption that I think it's like overlooked, like it's obvious, but it's not. Um, oops. So I forget what I was saying. So be open-minded to whatever. And also I think kind of people really brush aside a lot of people's personal experiences, and people don't share their personal experiences because they know that they're going to be brushed aside as either a psychological thing or, oh, you were just imagining it, or it wasn't real. But it was real, and whatever it was, or that there was something truth to it. Real is a very strange word to think like what's real, what's not. We're living in the Matrix. This whole world is, according to the Quran, an illusion, and according to top scientists, an illusion. So like but anyways, and according to just basic science and the fact that like there's mostly empty space, it's an illusion. But the idea of like the quantum physics where all time is happening simultaneously, and that the idea of experiencing time chronologically is illusory. Anyways, the problem that people evil is because it can translate into reality. Problem if people don't have a strong moral standard. That's true. That's why I think age is important when you play certain games. Interesting. Okay. How do you define what is good or bad action? That would be up to the DM, and that's kind of the thing where the DM ends up playing God. But I think it's kind of stereotypical. Like, we all know it's a good or bad action in 95% of situations, which is another reason I think there's a case to be made for objective morality, because that's cross-cultural. And I guess you could say it's a biological thing where it's like, oh, we look out for our own. Maybe. I was wondering the exact same thing. There's no creator god in Norse mythology. But that's what people say. There's no creator god in a lot of mythologies, and then they look deeper, and then you find that there is. He's just not given much credence. Like in the Greek mythology, there's creator god, but then he ends up getting like enthroned, or like there's the Titans. Did someone create the Titans? Isn't there like a guy who basically got his penis cut off by Zeus, and then Zeus took over the world? So I don't know. Anyways, it's pretty messed up, but they're usually myths are more deep than the ones we've heard. I don't know about Ymir. See, I gotta look it up. I'll look it up. Remind me in the chats or whatever in Discord, and it'll be fun to watch videos on Norse mythology. And maybe there is no creator god, you know. So, but like a lot of times, I feel like there is. He's just not what you think of a creator god. He has more personality or more whatever, or something happens to him that you wouldn't expect to have to creator god. But like usually, I think it's kind of natural for people to think like something made all this. We lost the moon. We lost the moon. Okay, I don't know what that means. Which religion? I'm Muslim, and I'm actually pretty no, it's weird because I feel like I call myself a scriptural Muslim, so I follow what's in the scriptures more than what's in the traditions, and I don't really consider the Hadith to be at the same level as the Quran. The Quran is supposed to be the word of God. The Hadith is the inspired words of Muhammad, peace be upon him, the Prophet. So, and then the Quran is like direct word of God as like just delivered as a message by Muhammad. Well, first it goes from God to Gabriel, the angel, the same Gabriel that sent Mary the message that she was to bear Jesus as a virgin birth. By the way, Immaculate Conception and virgin birth are different. Immaculate Conception is something completely made up by the Catholic Church. It's saying that Mary's mother was immaculately conceived, which means, I forget what, but it's kind of like, man, there's a lot of stuff that happens with organized. I'm not a fan of organized religion because it gets messed up. Almost every organized religion's messed up, borderline pagan, including Islam. I mean, they're just messed up. I don't know. I guess they're not pagan because they're really scared of that, but almost to the opposite side, where now they're like these like intolerant crazies. And yeah, so it's like organized religion is just because I think of people who it's so easy to manipulate religion because you can say anything. You say, "Oh, God told me this," and who's to tell you no, you know? But like, and also like extreme people who are like, you shouldn't do anything that might upset God a little, as opposed to like, well, it's between you and God what you do, and if you're going to heaven or hell, that's God's decision. It's no one on earth is, and it's not your job to bully someone to go to heaven. Like, I kind of feel like that's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Or if it works, it's like God's gonna be like, why'd you bully that guy all his life and make him feel sad? You know, like you're gonna take some kind of that's gonna be a negative point on your record. Anyway, so I'm not a fan of organized religion. I like to study the scriptures directly of all different kinds of religions and faith systems, and just interesting wise people. Like the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius are very interesting, where he talks about atheism and whether he believes in the gods. And the way he talks about gods, he never really relates, like, does he believe in specific gods? And I think it's kind of like a modeling if you call the gods as like, you know, like that thing that's controlling, that like has, you know, anyway, I don't want to get to that. Talking about why is this a religion? Like, okay, whatever, we'll put that in the description. It's a religious live stream. I'm a Christian boy. God bless you, Professor Stratico. So also with Islam, it actually says that the gospel and the Torah, which are the Torah and the gospel, so the 5 books of Moses, I think, and the gospel especially, but maybe we don't have the actual, are sent by God. So God basically tells you, like, okay, the Abrahamic scriptures, you can read those, learn from them. Read the Quran, but use the Quran as a criterion, which means to judge the other ones, because things change over time with written scriptures. When you copy things, it's very common for little words to get changed, or ideas, or like, and interpretations, especially when it changes languages. That's a whole nother thing where a lot of meaning is going to be lost or changed. In addition, the books of the Bible, they've been curated down to 66, but there were more before, and so it's kind of suspect, like, who is to decide which ones didn't make it in, which ones did. So the Quran's a little different, or a lot different, because it's a writ citation, and since the time that it was first recited, or first recited in its entirety, basically it was revealed over many years, and then it was memorized, because people were all about memorizing stuff back in Egyptian days and even in Greek days. Like back in the day, humans can memorize crazy amounts of things, especially if it's rhyming poetry. So they memorize the whole Quran and they make sure they got it right. And then ever since then, there have been people who are the companions of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and all of them. there's been an unbroken line of people who have learned the Quran recitation, memorized the whole thing, and can speak it from the day of the Prophet in like 600 AD to today. And there's a special name for the kind of people who learn from that unbroken line and get a piece of paper and all that stuff. And so in that way, it can stay more like pure, because it's not like when something's memorized reciting, it has, you remember the way it sounds, the rhythm, and all that stuff. You can get it right, basically. So it hasn't been altered in any, at least in any significant way, since that earlier time. Okay, cool. Sharia law. Sharia law just means, it's the thing with, like, that's another thing I hate about organized religion. Everyone's like, oh, Sharia law, Sharia law. Sharia just means law. It's just the law. And it's like, from the Quran, we got rules. Like, we're not supposed to eat pork. That's a law. It's a Sharia. It's Sharia. So you don't eat pork, okay? But then people are gonna interpret it and like make up all these other rules, and governments make up rules, and then like the Saudi Arabian government is Sharia law. No, that's your government law. You know, like you can't lay claim to having the correct interpretation of the Quran and running everything exactly right. Like God didn't give you that authority in any way, shape, or form. But you want to call it Sharia law so that you can abduct the religion and basically have this crazy amount of power, because religion's just extremely powerful. I mean, come on, look at like Catholicism and Islam, man. Tons of people. Catholicism, for instance, is like tons of people under one dude. That's like the biggest monarchy on the earth by far. It's like a quarter of the or a sixth of the population is part of this like zealous monarchy, who probably would listen to the Pope if they told him to go to war. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have a Muslim Ummah anymore. That's what it was. But I guess, I don't see, that's the thing. I'm glad that there's no Pope of Islam, even though they're kind of trying to do that in Saudi Arabia. Anyways, why are we talking about this so much, man? Fire pit chat? Why not fireside chat? Bible, Babel. Well, I mean, the Babel is in the Bible. So I don't know. I don't know what you're saying there, but I don't want to get into a whole story about the Tower of Babel. Truth is an illusion for me. There are two things trying to illusion me: God, and that Sean's live stream is awesome. God bless you, Professor. You're a true hero. You're a true a paladin of the faith. I have to make a paladin role in over here after the stream and assign it to you, man. I want to be a paladin too. I'm gonna be a paladin. Isn't evil? Bloop bloop ba boop boop boo. Wow, there's like 8 people on the stream, man. This is a bumping stream. Hinduism also states that time and the world are a loser. See, like pretty much, like anyone. I don't know. And it's annoying because when people study quantum physics, it comes back and says the same things that all these religions say, but then no one goes ahead and says like, maybe we should reconsider these old religions. Maybe they were onto something, but we just didn't interpret it correctly, or we were blah 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 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So so yeah, I don't know. Something to consider, man. It's also an important thing to consider. Also, I would say just relax, but I think it's important to consider. Trying to talk about world yeah, thank you, no one. I love that though too. No one's really helping me out right now. You know, I love being able to say it. No one is. Thank you, no one. Is that really arrogant? I like thanking no one. I have to go to bed in a few minutes. Yeah, and I'm gonna stop streaming in a minute too. So actually, I'm not gonna talk about World of Chibu, but I want you guys to go ahead and check it out at this website. It's in the link in the description. penandblade.com/World of Chibu. I'll just pop it right here. Check it out. Leave me some comments either on the doc, because you can comment right on the doc, or in the comments of this channel, of this video. And yeah, that's it, man. I think that's it. Octo! Is this Octo real? The prophecy is foretold. Whatever. Cool, man. Yeah, I was on... Oh, okay, anyways, whatever. I'm tired. It's okay to be triggered when you're a bit religious. It's why we avoid religion and politics. I know, I try not to get triggered, because it's like, one thing that religious people don't like realize, and it's very hypocritical, alright, is that like things aren't in their hands. If you really believe in God, why do you think that it's your job to make sure other people don't go to hell? If God doesn't want them to go to hell, like, he can take care of that. He's got that power. He's got that ability. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come up in your grill a little bit. Praise the Lord. But yeah, so that's it. I'm all up in your grill. Check out, if you didn't see this video I just made, I just published it today. I actually like this map. I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna do a little world building here, and then also I have a random region generator, which I think is gonna be the first purchasable pen and blade project. But I'm gonna make it free. Don't worry, I'm gonna make it free. But I'm also gonna have it like pay what you will, and I put it on that drive through RPG, or where do you guys suggest I post it up on? To get a little bit more exposure and start kind of getting into the world of publishing, you know, taking some baby steps right in there. And I'm going to try to make it a nice PDF, do some drawings, put some maps in the background, colorful. I'm going to do that like in the next week or two. So definitely want to hear your feedback on stuff like that. Do they want to think of their... I don't know what Jimmy's talking about, but if I did, I'm sure it would probably spark another 45 minutes of conversation. So I'm going to just leave that for the Discord chat or for the next live stream. And yeah, peace out, everyone. Bye, Professor Tigo. And I'm going to say bye to everyone, too. And until next time, peace, God bless, and stay fantastic, everyone.